Hello. So, this week I'm going to do a review of the new Mortal Kombat movie. I finally got around to seeing it. I don't go to the movies that much anymore. It's too expensive, and then it's just, unless it's something I really want to see, it's just, I guess maybe I've gotten my fill of going to the theaters or something. I don't know. But anyway, um, so I'll do a review of that, and then I'm going to talk about ideas for video games based off of movies that, potential ideas for the future or whatever. And as for the Mortal Kombat thing, there will be spoilers, like it says in the title. So if you want to skip past that, you don't want to hear the spoilers, maybe you'd rather just hear my ideas or whatever, I'll put a timestamp in the comment section. But as for the Mortal Kombat movie, I personally loved it. I think it was really good. The thing is, it's a lot like the first two movies. The two movies that came out in the 90s. It's got a lot of goofiness in it, so to speak. And some people, I think, were upset about that, which I understand. On one hand, I understand that people are like, it's too goofy or too much like the old movies. But on the other hand, I feel like it's like, people, because that's like a common thing with the entertainment industry. It's like people are mad because it's too much like the old movies. But then if they made it nothing like the old movies, people would still be mad. Like, a perfect good example is, at some point they're going to do another Spawn movie, which I still love the 90s Spawn movie. I think even though the CGI is dated, I still think it's a great movie. I actually just watched it like a week or two ago. But the thing with that is, because I know that's going to happen, it's I wouldn't call it a remake since it's based off of a comic book line, but when they do that movie, I guarantee you, no matter who they pick to play the clown, people will complain because it's not John Leguizamo, or I can't even pronounce his last name, but if they did cast John again, people would complain because they're using the same actor. Like I said, that's just a common thing with the entertainment industry. But anyway, back to Mortal Kombat. So, the plot is that, drawing a blank on his name, I can't believe I forgot it, but this guy, he's the descendant of Scorpion, he's the descendant of Scorpion's, again, drawing a blank, what was his name, Toshi or whatever, he's a descendant of him, the human original version of Scorpion before he became Scorpion when he went to the Nether Realm. But anyway, he's like the descendant. He's founded by Jax, who, both of them have this like symbol. It's like, we're the chosen ones. We're destined to fight in the tournament and like save Earthrealm to keep it from being invaded by the Outworld and Shang Tsung and all of them. So they're confronted by Sub-Zero, who, you might be saying, like, Sub-Zero, wait, he's good. Well, I'll get back to that. So they're confronted by Sub-Zero, and Jack's like, you get out of here, I'll hold him off. So, Sub-Zero, it was like, he freezes Jax's arms and then, like, breaks them. So I was like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen. Then he, like, kind of, like, throws him off like a, so almost like looks like a construction type of thing. He throws him off, like, a great distance of height or something, but, so you think, like, oh, Jax, well, it's like, some may think, oh, Jax is dead, or others are going to be like, oh, he's going to come back with robot arms, or whatever, but, because even Sub-Zero says to Shang Tsung, it's like, I just killed another one of Earthrealm's champions. So anyway, before Jax tells him to leave, he says, go meet up with Sonya, she's like an old, my old partner, or whatever. So he goes to talk to Sonya, and, while they're there, Kano is there, like, he's like chained to a chair or something. And, while they're all talking about, it's like, we have to find this ancient temple where, like, or something like, or something like that. But, anyway, I watched this, like, I think, like, last week, and I'm trying to remember everything, sorry. But anyway, they're, attacked by Reptile, who's always been a favorite of mine, same with Kano. And, they all, Kano breaks loose and helps them, and then Reptile is killed, so that was kind of disappointing to me that Reptile was killed off. There's quite a few characters who were killed off, which some of them kind of surprised me, which I'll get to more of that in a bit. There's a thing about that, I feel like some of them might come back. I mean, some of them is kind of obvious, but others, like, whatever. So anyway, the three of them, Sonya, Sonya, Kano, and the other guy, the John Doe, if you will, they go to head for this temple, which is like, tells everything about like, the tournament and like the chosen ones and like how to use their powers or whatever, which is like called the Arcana. So when they get there, I mean, no, they're on their way there. They're in the desert. This was a part that I thought was hilarious. They're confronted by Liu Kang, and he shoots a fireball at Kano, and then they say like, wait a minute, we're looking for the temple of whatever or something, and Kano's like, oh yeah, the temple, yada yada, and then Kano's like, well, fuck the temple, you just shot a fireball out of your hands. Like, I thought that part was hilarious, but so yeah, they all go there and they find like their Arcana, their powers and stuff. Then they're attacked by Shang Tsung's forces. It's a lot of the there's like a good chunk of the movie there is just like, because that's the thing about this movie, it's very story heavy, very story driven, which makes sense because obviously they're gonna make more. This being the first one, they're obviously gonna make more, and so they find Jax there. He's still alive, and they give him like the robot arms, which they're actually like tiny. It's like these little tiny things, but then he's able to like, that's his Arcana. He's able to make them like normal sized, so to speak. And then there's also Kun Lao and Raiden are there, and so they're attacked by Shang Tsung's forces, which include Cabal, Sub-Zero, obviously Mileena, and Tara. And they all fight them and stuff, and it was like pretty much all the villains are killed off, like all those characters like Mileena and all them and stuff. But the thing is, well, including Sub-Zero, I think I mentioned him. And here's the thing: Scorpion actually comes back. Like, he comes back as Scorpion, because that's like a thing that you should probably know, that he's not in the movie a whole lot. Like, he's in the beginning as like human, and then he comes back at the end as Scorpion. So he comes back and helps them fight. And pretty much like all the, except for Shang Tsung, they're all like, all the villains are killed, or Shang Tsung's forces are killed, including Cabal, who turns against them. So I'll get back to that in a second, because... And another one that kind of surprised me was Kun Lao. He was actually killed, which I was like, wow, like, I didn't expect that, but it's possible he might come back, who knows. What was I gonna say? Kun Lao, he comes back, he was killed. But like I said, he might come back, as hell, it happens in the games all the time. Characters are killed and come back, like the next one. They even announced the characters were killed and come back, like... God, I remember in the third game there was a grave that said Johnny Cage, and then he's back in the fourth game and all the ones after that. Or like in the fourth game, they say that Kano is dead, and like, yo, Jarek, you're the last one, and then Kano comes back in the next game. And there's plenty of other examples, so that's just a few of them, but so the ones that are, like, the ones that I want to talk about, that Sub-Zero is killed, because he's like evil in the game, but I think what's going to happen, because it happened in the games, is, see, Sub-Zero, the original masked Sub-Zero from the first two games was killed, and he became Noob Saibot, or Noob, whatever, and then the Sub-Zero with the scar over his eye that was in the third game, and all the ones after that was the younger brother of the original Sub-Zero. So it was like, the original Sub-Zero was killed, became Noob Saibot, and then he was replaced by another Sub-Zero, which was actually his younger brother. So I feel like they're going to do something like that, like they'll probably bring back, they'll make like a new Sub-Zero, whether he'll be the brother or not, who knows, but, then the Sub-Zero from that movie will come back as Noob Saibot. And with Kano, he actually didn't have, like, the robot eye or the metal plate thing, and what happens is that Sonya kills him by stabbing him in the eye, or impaling his eye or something, so it's like, oh, that's kind of obvious, he's probably gonna come back, he's probably not completely dead, or not dead, or whatever, and he's gonna come back with the robot eye and the metal plate or whatever. At least this is just my assumptions. Another one that I was like, was Cabal, because the way he was killed, it was like he was in like this, it almost looks like a tar pit or something, and then Liu Kang shoots like a fireball, and it like lights up a trail and like sets him on fire, and he's just like all burning and then collapses, and I was like, I don't know, like, I feel like Cabal, who was awesome in it, by the way, he was always one of my brother's favorites, and I always thought he was really cool, but I don't know. I feel like he's not dead. Like, I could be wrong, but it seems like that's a little too simple. Like, and then, it ends that it's like Raiden's like, you have to find the other champions. Like, and I was like, oh, one of them's probably gonna be Johnny Cage, and that's what he says. Like, yeah, I gotta head to Hollywood. Oh, Goro. That was another one of the other Shang Tsung forces. He was, also killed. Which that was another one that kind of shocked me. I was like, wow, can't believe they killed off Goro. But hey, there's still like Kentaro and Motaro. Of course, then again, in the original Mortal Kombat, they did kill off Goro, the original movie. But yeah, like, there's still tons of characters that they can use in the movie. So, but moving on, I talk about some ideas for future movies. Let's go to Mortal Kombat's rival, if you will, Street Fighter. There was only one Street Fighter movie, and that was back in the early 90s. It really wasn't that good, and I feel bad saying that because it was Raul Julia's last movie, before he passed away from cancer. But yeah, that movie was just really wasn't that good. But it's been, I think that was it 94? So it's been like over 25 years. I think it's time. Maybe they should give it another shot. Especially like with the Mortal Kombat movies. Especially if those do well. Maybe you should make another Street Fighter movie, or maybe even a couple of them. The franchise is pretty much as old as Mortal Kombat. There's tons of characters and material they can use. Other ideas, obviously, like the Nintendo ones. Like, I know, because people always say that, oh, but the Mario movie was so bad. Which, personally, I kind of like the Mario movie for what it is. Like, I look at it as, like, kind of like a sci-fi type of thing, like Blade Runner. But I understand why people don't like it. I respect that. But it's like, the movie came out in 93. It's been almost 30 years. Like, I think it's time to let it go. Like, give them another chance. Don't say, like, no more Nintendo IP movies. Like, because that one, like, if you hated it, that's fine. But I think it's time to, let it go. Let's give it another shot. So, some ideas for movies. Like, one I think would be cool would be, like, Fire Emblem. Like, I think that would be kind of, like, maybe something like, I don't know, like, something like Gladiator, or what the hell is that movie, like, you know what I'm saying, or, like, Lord of the Rings, like, even though Fire Emblem usually is just, like, other than, like, some mythical creatures, Fire Emblem is always, like, humans fighting each other, for example, but whatever. There are, like, monsters and stuff, but mostly, it's not, well, you get my idea. Another idea is, Kid Icarus, I think would be kind of cool, because, Kid Icarus, that could be something like, Jason, the old classic movies like Jason and the Argonauts. What the hell is that other one? Clash of the Titans. I never saw the remake of Clash of the Titans, but I always loved the original. Same with Jason and the Argonauts. I don't know if that was ever remade or not, but I love the original one of that. I still do, actually. I love the music in that movie too. But Kid Icarus, I think it could be something like that. Obviously, some would work better as like CGI or something like. Star Fox is a probably good example. That would obviously work better as CGI. Kirby, Mario, Donkey Kong. But something like Detective Pikachu, that's a good example that it can be done. Like, I never expected to see a live-action Pokemon movie, but they made it work, and it was a great movie. Another one I think would be good as a live-action movie is Metroid. I don't know, like, Brie Larson has talked about that, about being Samus. I personally don't see it, really, because, well, not because of the political stuff with her, like, that's absolutely the last thing I would talk about on this channel is politics, and, like, I really don't pay much attention to celebrities, like, political views and all that stuff, but it's not, like, any of that, it's just that I've seen her in movies before, and I just think her acting is very flat. Like, I mean, that might be kind of an unpopular opinion, but I don't know, her acting, I just think it's, like, it's just, I don't know, I just find it very flat. And then one other one I have an idea for is, this actually just came to me out of nowhere. I was like, that would be kind of cool for a movie, is Metal Slug. Like, I don't know what it is, but I think that would be kind of a cool idea for a movie. Like, some kind of, like, maybe it could be like a war movie, like Saving Private Ryan, or Valkyrie, or whatever. Or it could be something like, maybe something like Commando, like an Arnold Schwarzenegger type of movie, but I don't know, I just think that would, cause maybe it's because I've always been a big fan of the Metal Slug movie since the 90s, but, yeah, I think that would be kind of a cool idea for a movie, but those are just some of my ideas, plus, the whole thing. So, are you going to see the Mortal Kombat movie? Or if you did see it, what did you think of it? And if you have any ideas for future movies based off of video games, either one of any of those, let me know in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.